Hey everybody, welcome to the Angel Channel. Happy Monday. Hope everybody's doing really well. It's been a crazy week. The chat thing last week went over pretty cool, and I've enjoyed that. I've got we'll talk about AI a little bit. Some more news on that coming up, and yeah, a lot of crazy stuff going on in the universe, and like solar system storms, and super intense uh, sun stuff this weekend that was just kind of really over the top. And yeah, let's see, where are my guys here? Yeah, bear with me. Okay. I've got some sun stuff I want to share with you here. I obviously have screwed it up a little bit. There we go. And open recent. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm sorry, bear with me here. There we go. Solar storms. All right. Let me try this again. All right, where'd you go? I just loaded you up. How come you're not here? Okay, man, it's just going to be like this to me, isn't it? Oh, there we go. All right, excellent. All right, so there's this crazy huge like black hole in the middle of the sun right now, and it's like enormous, and it's a super long thing, and it's got kind of crazy prominences off of it, and it shows up on the wavelength that I've been seeing this on, as black. And wherever that, and it's pointing right at Earth this weekend, and right now, and it started blasting us with super intense energy this weekend. And I've got a cool little thing here set up to kind of like tell you what the symptoms are, because it hit this weekend on late Friday night, and man, it is like really super affecting both my emotions, my mind, my ability to focus, a bunch of stuff. So common symptoms. Oh, okay. First of all, a huge coronal hole on the sun is sending a stream of high-speed wind towards the Earth, bringing heightened energy and sensitivity this weekend. Sudden fatigue or feeling unusually tired even after resting, muscle aches or tension headaches that come and go, increased sensitivity to light, sound, or electronic devices, ringing, buzzing, or pressure in the ears, forgetfulness, mood swings, past memories or unresolved emotions resurfacing, feeling easily overstimulated or overwhelmed, strong urge to disconnect from others or social media. I can't tell you how many people I talked to today that said, man, they just like took a step back. And yeah, kind of really crazy. Feeling spaced out, disconnected, or just kind of energetically off. Anxiety and restlessness, waking up and having broken sleep, and vivid and realistic dreams and emotional dream content. Yeah, and I'm going to share some of that with you today. And feeling suddenly emotional, teary, nostalgic, or reactive. Yeah, so if you're feeling kind of funky, there's a reason why you're feeling funky. Hey, let me say hey to everybody. Nancy, good to see you. Nat, glad you're here. Hey, I'm still looking for that complete spin video, Nat. Spectra, what's up? CJ, glad to see you. Inga, how are you? How are you? Arnie, yep. Good to see you guys. Glad you come share space with me tonight. in addition to the solar thing, there's a really crazy thing happening also. Um, there is a 6 planet alignment right now, and it's going to be going on for like 2 months, and it's called the grand alignment of the planet, and soon it will turn into a 7 planet parade when Mercury gets in there as well. So really kind of an amazing and cool astrological and astronomical event. Um, and just a bit of so the student goes, "Why am I not advancing in my technique, master? Have you seen the sunset when the seagulls fly flaming across the plain?" "Yes, master." "And the water from the waterfall hitting the rock without achieving anything?" "Yes, master." "And the moon reflecting on calm water?" "Yes, master." "There's your problem. You keep watching stupid shit instead of practicing." Yeah. Oh, too funny, man. All right. So we're going to be talking a little bit tonight about patterns and correspondences and, you know, different ways to navigate through the future where nothing is real. And yeah, we'll see about that. And also I wanted to, as always, thank our sponsor, Fried Okra Entertainment. Guys keeping us afloat and keeping us inspired. And thanks, super thanks to Ernie and the boys, and also Audrey Asciuto, our local badass real estate woman. So if you get a chance and you're in Sebring, she's the person to look out at for sure. All right. This is kind of a sensitive subject, and a little bit, fuck it. Let's just go. I've been kind of keeping you guys abreast about 4 or 5 weeks ago. My son passed away, and I've been dealing with the whole grieving process and kind of coming to terms with that. And you know, I've like I've had a lot of practice at this, so and I've got a box full of tools, and I've kind of been using them all because that crushing grief that just wraps its like hand around you is just so kind of crazy, 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 crazy. I don't like that feeling at all. So to be honest with you, I've done everything I could do to absolutely avoid that soul crushing pain. And on Saturday night, this is right at the max of all the sun stuff. I had this really, really super intense dream. And I was in Adam's apartment and kind of looking around at his stuff. And there was a folder that was sitting on the table, big bold letters, Dad. I opened it up and I'm looking through, and there were baby pictures and like stuff we did as a youngster, and kind of just a whole like remembrance of things that were really special between him and I. And it was super cool, and I got all the way through it, and at the very end of it was a little note and big handwritten note, Dad, exclamation point, I really love you. Don't forget me, okay? And oh, dude, I don't know. It just like that took the little lid I've had on all of that stuff and just shredded it, shredded it, shredded it, shredded it. And man, I spent pretty much all day just basket case. I just couldn't stop crying, and I just kept hearing that line over and over. And don't forget me. Uh, uh, um, so yeah, here, let me get this thing out of here. I'm not going to forget him. And I'm going to like bust him up something here right now. Oh man, did I do that again? I did it again. You cannot take me anywhere, obviously. Um, all right. All right. Okay. So bear with me for 2 seconds. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Anybody out there? I'm going to bust out some series tarot readings later on today. I've been super hyped up and charged up, and anybody that wants one, get in line now, and we will do that towards the end of the show. Let's see. All right. You know, I need to do the Jeopardy music again, right? Da, 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 da. There we go. Okay. So we're going to try this one more time. Yeah. So I thought I'd just take a chance to like a friend of his. They did a big memorial for him a few weeks ago, and he sent me the little invite for it, and just really warmed my heart. And I thought I'd share this with you guys. Yeah. Yeah. So my boy. Anyway, we'll make sure I don't forget him, and yeah, bringing stuff up from time to time, just because I want to. All right. Let's see how we doing for time. All right, good on time. All right. Um. Oh, before I get off of that, I haven't really been very inspired artistically of late. It's been a really kind of, damn, oh no, I did it. There we go. I don't know, man. There's just been so much going on. I've been in such an internal kind of maelstrom of trying to find new pieces and new ways, and figuring all this like the whole way the world is changing so rapidly, man. It seems like, what used to take years now is taking 15 minutes, So anyway, I decided to kind of celebrate the moment we all gathered together right after his death, and we sent him off into the light and to clarity and goodness. And this is what I came up with, and I'm just super, super, super stoked. Yeah, let's make this a little bigger if we can. Yeah, just a lot of energy, a beautiful blast off, surrounded by people he loved, and a really good one. Also, I don't know if this is happening for you guys. I've been studying for 5 decades now, for 50 years, and I've gone back and I've been keeping big notes and writing journals and grimoires for myself for all that time. And a lot of the stuff, especially at the beginning, I've gone back through some of my journals and my big magic book, and there are so many elements of things that like are absolutely, I'm seeing absolutely right now that like I just got like the clue that that was the way it was, and sort of spurned this whole like quest into that. And now, like all these years later, things are like coming into uh, visual and making sense. The puzzle pieces all coming together. And this I wanted to talk to you a little about. You know, for those of you that have known me for a while, you know, even before I was light painting. For about 25 years, I've been doing this technique where I'd like take the final pick I like and mirror that, cut it in half, flip it over, and put those two things together so that it's a whole image mirrored, which is what this is. And you know, people bust on me for doing that all the time, like this gimmick and all that stuff. But for me, it's always been a really like hardcore sole purpose technique. Like it was defining something for me. Although, as much as I tried to articulate that definition, it was really, really hard over the years. But just recently, the whole quantum entanglement is like made total sense now. So you've got this one particle over here, and you've got another particle doing exactly the same, but in the mirror, in the opposite. So it's like those two things together, like it's a mirror image of a whole. And it really has sent me off on some meditations and some ideas that I think are really going to help with my exploration on the whole quantum field thing. And by the way, quantum field is definitely the answer to a lot of the weirdness and craziness coming up. And so we're gonna step it up a little bit tonight, and just kind of go a little bit deeper. Yeah, I love that space. Blank space is the place to live, and you can always go back there. Man, I don't know about you guys, but whole AI thing, the whole like all the political stuff, the world is just insane. You know, the sunspot activity totally related to geophysical stuff going on. There have been volcanoes. There was a 6.7 earthquake in Indonesia this weekend. And it just seems like in every single direction, you're getting bombarded with things so freaking fast. I can't even catch my breath. And it's like, it can, and it's driving a lot of people crazy. And that's the best thing about blank space and writing down to that moment where you just shut everything off and your connection to the source is at its greatest, and you're in that zone where like nothing is bombarding you. You're in a stillness that is absolute bliss. So being able to go there pretty quickly and whenever you want, man, it's a great little tool for coming out of those spaces. And when you're feeling overwhelmed and you just really don't know what's real anymore, that's the thing that's kind of tripping me out, man. I've been seeing lots of videos on YouTube that those people look absolutely real and they're totally AI. And the better it gets, the better it gets. Grok just came out with a new version of Grok 5 this weekend, or Grok 4 rather, actually. And each time they come out with a new release, it just exponentially gets better. So whatever it is right now is going to be obsolete in about 3 months. So we're going to bump up the blank space meditation a little bit today, and we're going to do something different. We're going to hold that space a little bit longer, and we are going to also kind of leave about a minute at the end for everybody just to stay there. We're going to talk about the breathing technique that you can start to implement to that, which will lead to being able to stay there for absolutely as long as you want. All right. Before we get into our energy work, I just wanted to talk to you about patterns in the code that you can start to recognize, and correspondences, patterns, and discernment. You know, our powers of observation have never been more important. And to be able to sift through all of the stuff that's out there, the information that's coming by, that's some of it's just complete nonsense, and to be able to tell what's real and not real, and to be able to like remember what your actual real, the truth to the pure light, that's always true. That will never vary, no matter what anything tries to tell you or so program on you. Yes. Hey, shout out to Magic Hour. Good to see you here, my brother. Grant gets out. Good to see you. Tammy Joe, there you are. Yeah, got a nice little crowd tonight. All right, so when I was first starting out, recognizing patterns and also correspondences. You know, it's like the axiom, as above, so below. You start to see how the world, as it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, mirrors, you know, this world. And as it gets smaller and smaller, how like a single cell is like a whole universe when you like go down into electron microscope things. So you start seeing the interconnectedness of stuff. And then also to look at the fact that we're just, however we want to call them, or what names we put on stuff, or how it looks in the material world, everything here is frequencies, energy frequencies. So understanding how to move around in those frequencies makes available all kinds of choices that you did not have before. And being able to recognize the frequencies of, say, like numbers, okay? Like the number 7, all right, well, that's 7 chakras. Well, that's true. But it's also 7 whole notes in a octave, a musical octave. It's 7 colors in the spectrum. It's 7 days in the week. It's like 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. So when you stack up that stack of stuff that all relates to 7, it starts to define this kind of frequency for you that informs how those things are connected. And the bigger you can see the net of connectivity, the better you can motivate around in the world. All right, let me get rid of these. And I'm going to show you a couple of books that, in my opinion, are just absolutely absolutely essentials. My brain is not connected to my lips today. Okay, here we go. This first book is called The Magician's Companion. And the really cool thing about this book, here, let me show you the cover. The Magician's Companion. And it's an encyclopedia. You know, this came out way before the internet and that kind of stuff. But it gives you all of those correspondences. Like I had this book next to me. I wore out 3 of them. The Law of Magical Names, labeling, like pretty much every premise in magic and the right livelihood, all these different ways of cruising through this. Anatomy and how those things all connect with the Kabbalah and like all of these connections. This is a fabulous, 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 fabulous book. The signs of the zodiac and all of those correspondences. And like, oh man, it just starts exploding the bigger picture. So like when you're thinking about numerology, you're like connected to the astrological energies and all of those things that correspond to that form the whole picture and not just a single piece of the picture. There's another book that I won't belabor you with, but it's a famous book that Aleister Crowley and a guy named Barrett, Barrett wrote, and it's called 777, and it is a compendium again in a similar way to The Magician's Companion of a bunch of different systems, but it's got some other stuff in it that that The Magician's Companion didn't have. Like, it's got all the I Ching stuff, geomancy in it, like all the astrological stuff. Really, really super good book for this. And you can find all this online, and these are PDFs. And if anybody's really interested in copying the PDF, email me tomorrow. I'll be happy to see about getting it to you. All right. So correspondences, patterns. One of the main reasons that I am obsessed with numerology is because numbers aren't just numbers. They're definitions and representations of specific energy frequencies. And seeing numbers, like doing your own name in numbers, reveals things about, wow, where are those energies happening? Like for me, when I did my numerology, my first name is Charles, my last name is Lar, and those Lar is 3189. Okay, and my birth moment is 318, and the name Charles is 3819. So just kind of like the mirror inversion there. So a long time ago, 318 became a really huge number for me, and the different arrangements of that 381, 38 over 1 over 2 has really informed me a lot about my own personal journey. A lot of the stuff that's out there right now is just very broad stroked and generic, and that's the exploration into your own inner universe that is so valuable and so informing, and kind of connects you with the real you. When you're thinking about your energy frequencies and your light, that's the actual true you, not the meat sack we live in. Okay. All right. All right, let's create some sacred space and go take a trip down to blank space. All right. As I'm doing this, let this sound, and if you have headphones, it'd be really good to have those on. Let this sound just fill through your room, and just imagine that it's bright white light that is just floating out to the corners of your room, like it's cleaning out any energy that's been around, and you're just kind of doing a major energetic sweep on your personal space there. I'm going to make a little safety cocoon. All right, here we go. With the light of the source, I banish and clean this space and make this place pure. With the light of the source, I banish and clean this space. I make this place pure. With the brilliant light of the source, I banish and clean this space. I make this place pure. we joyously come together to share our energy, our lives, and our love. We create a circle of sacred space, a place of sanctuary and safety, a place full of glowing light. We ask that the angels be with us this evening, share their truth, their knowledge, their love of the source. We ask that we have eyes to see, ears to hear, and the wisdom to understand. And with absolute gratitude for all of it, even the pain. Infinite, unconditional love, and our wish for bliss to the source. We open the circle. Just live here all the time. I love that vibe. All right. We're going to ride down to blank space. You know, a bunch of you have, been playing every week. So this may be a little bit of a review for you, but we're going to take it a little deeper tonight. So, there are a number of techniques that we've discussed for drawing in that light, and on the exhale, connecting your breath to the exhale. When your breath runs out, and we say silence, it's where you just completely turn off. You imagine your heart stopping, your metabolism stopping, like a freeze frame in a movie, right? And you don't breathe in. That's the way we've always done it, where we just stay in that space for as long as you can kind of hold that breath there for a little bit, and then do another one. But tonight we're going to extend that a little bit, and we're going to go into some super shallow breathing so that you can start to stay there longer and start to build up the time that you can be in there. All right. Okay, so we're going to draw in 3 really deep breaths. You're going to use your solar plexus. You're going to draw in through your nose, and you're going to be taking in brilliant, bright, gold energy, healing energy, warm, and this particular energy we're going to program to have some little white flecks of goodness in there. All right. So as you take that in through your nose, I want you to just fill yourself up as much as you can. And when you get to the point where it feels like you're full and you can't put any more in there, a little more in there. All right. And then when we release, another way to connect to that is to imagine that you're a machine, you're an android, and somebody hit the switch and you're turning off, right? You don't really realize how much energy and strength that you're putting into holding your head up and your arms, your shoulders. And I want you to really get deep into relaxing all of that, like you're just totally shut off. Just relax your shoulders, let them just hang, let your neck and your head just kind of like rest down, so you're not expending energy holding it up, and just turn off. Okay. And a third technique, last but not least, I like to take in that energy, and when I'm like drawing in that gold energy, it's kind of just filling up my whole like inner vision with that gold light, and it's glowing and bright and beautiful. And on the exhale, I just imagine that energy going out, and it's a little ball And it just keeps going and getting smaller and smaller. And my attention goes with the ball. Everything else is falling away. And when that disappears, that's boom, you're at blank space. All right, yummy goodness. I can't wait to get there. All right, here we go. We're going to do 3 really nice breaths, okay? And at the end of the 3rd breath, we're just going to stay in that space and just keep trying to hold that blank space and take really super shallow breaths to try to extend it. You know, when we're doing the freeze frame thing, you're holding your breath, so you can't keep going, indefinitely. But once you are in that space and you're nice in there, before it gets really intense, just take a really shallow breath with your mouth, just enough to keep you going, and just try to maintain that space. And if you feel yourself starting to drift, just go stop. Pick some word that just brings you back, right? Boom, boom. And don't let yourself float away. And yeah, this will be really good. All right. Here we go. Inhale in through your solar. Use your solar plexus in through your nose. Beautiful gold healing energy. Let it infuse down through your nostrils and down into every part of your body. Just make you glow, brighten your aura. Keep backing it in and release. Turning off the machine. No thoughts. World falls away. Sinking into silence. Deeper. Silence. And inhale. Ah, that beautiful gold. Really pack it in, make it count. And release. Sinking deeper into the stillness. No mind. No future. No past. No thoughts. Silence. All right, one more. And at the end of this, we're going to extend that breath for about a minute. Here we go. Inhale. Brighten your whole aura. Full and release. Sinking deep. Deep inside. Where there's nothing and everything. Deeper. Deeper. Silence. Keep bringing it back. Take a nice breath. Just hold that space for a second. One of the best ways to use blank space is before you go to start your meditation. If you have some question, especially if it's about a big question, think about that. Program your intent before you go to the meditation. Sink down into the silence. Sometimes I get an answer there, but way more frequently be after I come back out of that and I'll get this little eureka moment. And there's a book, there's a link, there's something that leads me to that exactly. All right. Let's do some readings, all right? Let me see who's up here. A bunch of people. Okay. Yeah. All right, Natalie, you're up first. You know the drill, girlfriend. Take 3 nice breaths and just get really connected. That's it. Beam it to me. All right, words of wisdom from my good friend Natalie. Words of wisdom from my good friend Natalie. Words of wisdom. Good friend Natalie. You know, I don't know if you guys do this or not, but like when you're cutting the cards, like the undercut card always is really super important to me. Kind of like sets up the tone usually for the rest of the reading. This particular one is the 10 of Cups. Super good card. Wow. All right. The Star, which is Aquarius, and wishes fulfilled. Wow. The Wheel of Fortune. Up. The 7 of Cups. All right. So this first card, the Star, it's all about in the Fool's journey. The Fool runs into and sees the star just after the tower. After his world had been really blown up and blown down to the foundations, and he's left in kind of a what do I do now mode. And as he cruises along, he looks up and sees the star. The star is pouring forth the water of life onto the thirsty earth, and he realizes that it's about like future plans coming to fruition, and that the seeds of good have been planted, and that it's a promise of wishes fulfilled, but that those need time to come to fruition, and to have patience and faith and absolute belief that like your dreams and your wishes are definitely possible and on the way. This is the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is always about like the changing circumstances. Usually it's a really good omen, and especially following the star, that's usually a portend of things that kind of like turn in your favor. There's a few things hanging around that like don't seem to want to click in for you, but it looks like that's going to be taken care of, right? And the last card is the 7 of Cups. 7 of Cups is kind of a wobbly card because it shows you a lot of options, and it shows you a lot of choices that like look really good when you go to like charge for them, but then when you go to reach out and you go to like actually grab onto them, they're sort of like either you're disillusioned with it because it's not what you thought it was, or it wasn't really even there at all anyway. So just I think you're going to get a bunch of different like opportunities, and like you'll have a bunch of thoughts on ways you can go and what kind of things you want to be doing, and just be really fired up with your discernment on which one really has heart for you and which way to go. But the star, the wheel of fortune, like goodness is on the way, and just be careful not to let it get diluted with things that aren't actually real. All right. All right, Nancy, here's a reading for you, baby. All right. You need to shut that brain down, man. You've got it running all over the place. Take 3 deep breaths. And if you have something specific, beam that to me with everything you have. And if not, we'll just do the jump. Get a nice shuffle here. All right, words of wisdom. Words of wisdom from Nancy. Words of wisdom. Words of wisdom and clarity. All right. First card, the 3 of Pentacles. That's a great card. Next card is the 7 of Swords, or the 8 of Swords, I'm sorry. And the last card is the 10 of Pentacles. Just about my favorite card in the whole deck. All right, so this 3 of Pentacles represents somebody who's like gotten really good at what they do. They've mastered their skills. They're able to make a really good living at it. And they're, and a lot of times they're top of their game at doing it. And the caveat to this card is that while you're on top, everybody else wants to be on top too. So they're taking pot shots at you, trying to undercut what you're doing and do it cheaper or in some undercutted way. And the gig to this is to stay on top of your game and always be like developing what's next, so that as everything runs its course, nothing's no dog, no sunshine shines on the same dog's butt twice. Make sure that you're just continuing to innovate and move along and keep developing what's next. All right, the next card is the 7 of Swords. What did I do with it? Did I just set it down? No. What the heck did I do with it? Oh, here we go. It's the 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords. Yeah. Okay. You're feeling really kind of boxed in about something. And from the perspective that you're in, you don't really see any way out. It kind of feels like you're kind of stuck there. But the truth of the matter is, like in one of the early decks that I got, this card is represented by a king standing up on the balcony overlooking his kingdom. But in the railing of the thing, there are like 8 swords that are stuck into it. So it looks like jail bars. And from his perspective, only looking out, he's like, I can't move forward. I can't go anywhere. But the whole funny gig is that all he needs to do is turn around and the rest of the room is open, and he just needs to walk in another direction. So, if you're feeling stuck right now, if you're feeling like something's not kind of like working out the way you wanted it to be, just make sure that you take a deep breath change your perspective and look around in a few other directions. And what that'll lead to is the 10 of Pentacles, which is lasting and abiding abundance. This is the kind of abundance that doesn't go away, and is the kind of abundance that you can pass on and share with people around you to uplift their lives as well. So whatever it is you're kind of stewing with, stay on top of your game. Make sure you're always looking for a new perspective, and get ready to get the mother load. All right, there we go. All right, who's next here? Inga, this one's for you, my darling. Yeah, hold on one second. When I'm doing multiple cards, the shuffling is more important than when you're just pulling a single card. And it doesn't matter if you achieve randomness, but with the tarot deck, it does. All right. 3 nice breaths. Focus really hard. When you shuffle, there's another indicator of how the reading's gonna kind of flavor out. If the cards shuffle together really smoothly, it's usually a good omen. And if it they just don't want to go together, you keep having to force them, they come in clumps, that's usually things are kind of sticky and there's some stuff to work through. This particular shuffle is going super smooth. All right, here we go, Inga. Get nice and focused. Words of wisdom. Words of wisdom for my good friend Inga. Words of wisdom for my good friend Inga. Words of wisdom for my good friend Inga. Oh, wow. Got that 8 of Swords again. And the Empress. And the Hermit. Wow. So, Inga, what I just told Nancy applies to you on that first card, man. Just make sure that whatever is looking like it's your prison is, make sure you realize that the back wall of the prison is open. And you just need to change your perspective and look around and, sometimes the opposite direction of where you think you need to be going, and just take a look at what's back there. And there's no telling when you're feeling stuck and barred in like that, and there's no forward movement. There's always a flow to latch onto. So just be aware of that it's a self-imposed prison. It's not a prison you're actually forced to be in. This is a prison of your own making. Okay. The next card is a great card. It's the Empress. And the Empress is the mother of love. And she's the Earth Mother, and all about making you feel welcome and bringing you into the fold. And, the Empress has never met a stranger, and she's always really happy about taking care of whoever is there. And you come to her party and she'll treat you like she's known you for 1,000,000 years. So the Empress really represents the pleasures of life, the goodness of life, the cornucopia of experiencing earthly delights. Bacchus is related to this card a little bit, and it's a wonderful card for feeling pleasure and love. And maybe that's the direction that you need to be changing your outlook to. And letting this come from inside, that this isn't an outside thing, that you're looking for those attributes, but to bloom those inside yourself and share those with others. Speaking of inside yourself, the last card is the Hermit. And the Hermit is one of my favorite cards, and that's kind of where I've been for the last few months. And it's the inward journey. Like the Hermit checks out. He doesn't want fame or fortune or anything. He just wants to know, and he wants to understand, most of all, himself, and know who he actually is and what his connection is to the world and the broader multiverse at large. So in the story of the Hermit goes off and separates himself from the crowd, and he keeps learning and learning and learning, and all of a sudden he starts to get this glow of light that emanates from him, and that starts to attract attention. And people start to be drawn to the Hermit, not because of his showmanship, but because of the vibration that he sends off. So there you go. Use the things that you're learning right now to bloom your love and your desire for connection and your need to express the Earth Mother in you. You have very deep Earth Mother in you. So express that really fully. Yeah, exactly. And the Hermit, always about the inner journey. Just when you think you're done, you need to go a little deeper. All right, there you go, girlfriend. All right, let's see who's up next. Natalie. Let's see, we got Inga, Natalie. All right, Tammy Joe. Oh man, you're going through it. Let's see if we can pull you something up here. All right. 3 really nice breaths. Super slow. Bring your mind down. Imagine we're looking each other face to face, looking each other right in the eye. All right. Words of wisdom. Words of wisdom from my friend Tammy Joe. Words of wisdom from my friend Tammy Joe. Words of wisdom. All right. First card, Magician. And this, there are 3 magicians in my deck. And this magician is the magician of the body. So it's about acquiring your projective energy skills. It's about learning about the elements. It's about getting all of your occult and metaphysical abilities up and running, and the ability to actually create things in the material universe. Speaking of the universe, you know, Yeah, we've had this conversation before. You have a lot of potential and a lot of abilities that you haven't woken up yet. If you choose to like give yourself a gift and really go to work, you'd wind up at the end of that with all the marbles. The universe represents the fool's journey through all of the lessons, all of the self discovery, all of the discovery about the universe, and sends you off on out into the world to make your way with all the marbles. So this is a super great card. It relates to all of the elements where the megas of the body was relating to the physical elements, the energetic elements. This is all of those elements as well, but like worked into a working system now. So it's not just stuff that you know about, but is already actualized and part of your being. All right, and the last card is the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is kind of a ticky card because, yeah, there are some potential arguments hanging around, and tensions are kind of high. People are kind of snippy. There's misunderstandings going on, and it hasn't blown up into a big fight yet, but it's like stewing. And that opportunity is like right there. It's just a flashpoint. That's what those matches exploding right represent. So, you know, part of the journey, part of the spiritual journey and the inward journey is understanding what your frequency is putting out and attracting. And as you work on that and work on that and work on that, and you change your frequency, the people around you generally change too, and new people show up once you've like outlived your mutual agreement with somebody for the lessons that they were teaching and you were teaching to them. Those people have a tendency to drop off the map and sort of disappear, and that leaves room for new people to show up and be part of the circle. But not everybody's always happy about that. So just make sure that you have goodness coming, and the kind of tense situations that are happening in your life right now, that universe card, man, it's all there. And use your abilities, man. Use your abilities with focusing your intent and sending that juice out, and you're going to have a really great role. It's going to be very, very good. All right. Let's see. Let's get somebody next. Try to get these mixed up really good. Yeah. All right. Let's see who's next. Arnie, this one's for you, man. And, always appreciate some confirmation. And if I'm missing it altogether, let me know that too. All right, my brother, get really nice and focused. Words of wisdom for my good friend Arnie. Words of wisdom for my good friend Arnie. Words of wisdom for my good friend Arnie. All right, first card, the devil. Next card. Um, Next card, Seven of Wands. Wow, all these court cards. And the last card, the Ten of Wands. Yeah. All right. So the devil card, people freak out about that, but what the devil really represents is the part of you that is connected to the world. I mean, the devil's Capricorn, and it's all about the material world, which in a lot of cards, the devil is represented by the big horn guy with the wings, and there's a couple of people like a man and a woman naked with large uh, metal collars on and chained, and the devil's house of chains, and it's like, oh man, those poor people, they're slaves. And but what that card really means is that they are slaves. They've chosen to enslave themselves to their sensual desires and get stuck in the loop of um, neglecting their spiritual growth for their um, fulfillment of their sensual desires. But the cool part about that card is that you realize that those collars are huge and they could take them off anytime they want. So it's all about making the choice for your spirit and the choice for your evolution and the choice not to stay stuck in the world and the stuff the world has to talk about. Now, on the business sense, the devil is a really super awesome card because it's absolute ambition. And if you're in the middle of a business deal right now, or you're trying to think about some way to make money, and there's something on the horizon, a new idea or something, this is the all-out, balls to the wall, like everything you've got kind of ambition that makes that happen. So that's always a really great card when you're talking about that. The Seven of Swords or the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands. We talked about earlier with the Three of Pentacles, how like when you're at the top of your game, there's always somebody shooting to try to take your spot. And this card represents competition and pretty fierce competition. And one of the cool versions of this card is this guy with a big wand and a staff up on a rise on a little hill, and he's surrounded by 6 other people that are trying to attack him, and he's outnumbered. And yeah, maybe that's not in his favor, but he has the upper ground and this like determination to really blow through. So pretty much the conflict is resolved in his favor. That card is also about not shying away from a conflict that needs to happen. Okay. The last card, man, this is all kind of some like really intense business stuff. And it feels like you're really blowing into trying to expand and get things going. The ten of Wands represents like actually achieving what you want along the way, but like the actuality of doing that winds up being more of an oppression than what you wanted. And I've always used as an example for this card, like a really great musician who like just loves playing music. And he gets a record deal, gets famous. He's now owns a record company. Now he's at the top of the game, but he doesn't get to make music anymore because he's too damn busy, man. And the whole like infrastructure and mechanism of what he built is too much. So just make sure that you're like You're giving yourself enough time to like assimilate everything, and just make sure that sometimes the excitement of the wave of where you're going, just make sure that is really in tune with where you really are and really where you really want to be. And, there's everything that you've got, like with this reading is about you having the ability to make all of those things happen. So enjoy yourself. All right, CJ, this one's for you. Yeah, let me get a good mix here, man. Okay, CJ, really nice 3 deep breaths, really deep, okay? In through your nose, out through your mouth. Let's just kind of sink down together a little bit. Yeah, all right. If you have something specific, get really focused on that and beam that to me. If not, we'll just do kind of a general zone and see where it goes. All right, let me get a good shuffle. Not that bad, CJ. All right, here we go. Let me connect up good now. Words of wisdom from my friend CJ. Words of wisdom from my friend CJ. Words of wisdom from my friend CJ. Wow, okay. So the first card is the Two of Wands. And what this card usually represents is two people coming together for the benefit of a third. Like, you have bosses at work that are talking about giving you a promotion, or you've got a couple teachers that want to take you under their wing. So this is a really super good card for finding help, finding partnership, finding sponsors that want to sponsor you, whatever kind of needs you have. This card represents that there are people already in the works thinking about how to like help you along. The next card, it's a two theme here. This is a Two of Swords, and the Two of Swords represents where the last card is two people coming together to help a third. This card represents two people that have been on the opposite sides of an issue that are now coming together for a détente, a temporary truce while things are being discussed and figured out. So this is a moment of peace in the storm. Yeah, all right. And then the last card is the Six of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles represents, and this may be tied to that first card with the Two of Wands. The Six of Pentacles represents that there's somebody that is ready to give you some cash. Not a lot of cash, and not a big loan or anything like that. This will be somebody that can afford it and can just give you this out of goodwill. in the flow of the tarot deck, the card before this is the Five of Pentacles, which represents destabilization, and what it represents is usually financial destitution, worldly destitution. Like the image in the Rider-Waite deck is this really beautiful, warm house. There's a family inside having dinner, and outside, and there's a warm glow from the fireplace, and everybody's happy. And outside in the cold and the snow is this woman, like a bag lady kind of woman, walking by the window looking in, and she's completely destitute and has nothing. Then this is followed by the Sixth, and you know, so later on she's hanging out, and you know, somebody comes by and sees her there and takes a moment to share a moment of kindness, and they can afford to give her some cash and send her on her way and get her on started up again. So there's help in a couple of ways, and you know, whatever kind of like try to be open-minded and not too rigid with discussing how to move forward in this situation, this opposite situation that's kind of come to a peaceful moment. All right, there you go, CJ. All right, Grant gets out. This one's for you, my brother. Focus really hard. Wow, you got a lot going on. Three nice deep breaths. Words of wisdom from my friend Grant. Words of wisdom. Words of wisdom from my friend. All these court cards. You got some emotional craziness going on there, my brother. Yeah, all right. So this first card is the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups represents when you've come to this moment where you realize that the situation you're in has outlived its usefulness. Not only has it outlived its usefulness, but it's kind of causing you harm now. And you got to turn around and go in the other direction and walk away. You know, this card can represent something happening in a relationship. This card is often frequently used to represent like when you've hit rock bottom and it's time to like work on some addictions, get off alcohol, whatever you're addicted to. Those things that keep you enslaved like that and wind up eating your soul. And this card represents the time when you realize that you got to change. You got to give that up, man. You got to release that. Which will get you to the Three of Cups, which is a joyous card. This card represents the celebration at the wedding celebration, where everybody's whooping it up, like this grand resolution to this whole scenario has come to works, and everybody is like super happy and super stoked to be part of it. And it's a really wonderful zone, and it's a reward for also recognizing what you know you needed to do in the last card and having the courage and fortitude to actually do that. And then that's the universe rewarding you for that. And last but not least, Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles, that's, we talked about this card a few people back. And it really represents, it's funny how the themes happen, man. And this card really represents a time where you've gone after everything you've wanted. And now that you have it, you're like, wow, man, that just took me away from what I really wanted. You know, I used the musician example of somebody who was a musician and loved making music. And now that they're, you know, moved up through the ranks, and now they own the record company, and now they're at the top of the heap, and now they don't get to play a single bit of music because they're so inundated with running the machinery of what they built. So just be really careful that what you're going after is exactly what you want. And also understand that even though this is a card of celebration, when you get to situations that are really deep and have to be severed, that can be somewhat of a difficult scenario, and it can be a fight, it can be an intensity, but what you need to do is just accept that maybe you need to go back to the aces and start over again. Right? Not ever what you want to hear after you've invested time in building something, but you know, acknowledging what you actually need to do and just doing it always saves time anyway, because that's what you need. That's what you wind up doing anyway after a long series of painful failures. No one knows that more than me. I'm very, very well versed with that card. All right. There we go. Oh, Grant says perhaps a true soul training in discernment going on at this time. Indeed, my brother. But you know what? You have everything you need. You have everything you need to come out on the other end, not only whole, but better. And you know what? The things I've learned the most and treasure and value the most never were easy, man. And they were always there with a choice. You want to go this way? It's not going to be that pleasant at the moment, but long term, it's going to be awesome. Or you can go for the immediate fix and try to like skate around it, but that never has worked out for me. Ever. All right, Mr. Deloche. Mr. Deloche. Yes, here we go. By the way, thanks for the words today in the DM, man. That made me feel really good. And I hope you enjoyed our little, my little Adam thing tonight. That was a crazy moment, my brother. I keep hearing his voice saying it out loud. All right. Deep breath. Deep breath. Bring it down. Words of wisdom for my friend Jason. Words of wisdom for my friend Jason. Words of wisdom for my friend Jason. You're intense tonight, man. Undercut card, the Magus of the mind. All right, first card, Six of Swords. Next card, the Four of Cups. Last card, the Seven of Swords. Yeah. All right. So the Six of Swords represents a time when you realize that the place you've been feeding, the place you've been getting your sustenance from, has run out. It's no longer viable. There's no more food there left for you. You got to go somewhere else, right? So this represents that time when you're walking away from where you've sustained yourself and moving into looking for new viable options for you. The great thing about this card is that it represents the eureka moment where it's like just out of the blue, man, the bolt of lightning. It's like, oh, that's it, man. That's a new direction. But in order to be able to get that bolt of lightning, you've got to let go of what you're hanging on to, because it doesn't, even though it might look like it's still going to sustain you, it's not. So that time would be better spent finding your new direction. Which is kind of what the Four of Cups is saying. You know, the Four of Cups is the hangover after the Three of Cups wedding celebration party. The Four of Cups is the morning after when you go, shit, I've got a headache. Oh, just feel awful. Yeah. So, you know, that's hand in hand with walking away from the things that don't serve you anymore. All right. And the last card is the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is kind of a bitchy card because it represents deceit, outright thievery. Like, make sure your stuff for the next couple of days just kind of nice and locked up. Don't forget to lock your doors. It does represent that kind of stuff, but it also represents people trying to take what's yours. You know, not just things, but like things about who you are, and copying stuff that you do, and you know, it's a situation where just need to kind of like keep your hand on your wallet, uh, and just be open. Yeah. Yeah, just make sure when you're walking away, when you're on the new path, um, that you are careful about who you put your trust in. Um, that's coming through really super loud. Yeah. And just make sure that you're double checked on that. Make sure you've got all your own stuff in order, your own house in order. And, you know, I don't know that you do this, but the more you do this, the better this will work for you. And just always stay connected to the source, to the pure light, to the true light, and just be sending out those waves. And if you have questions, you know, to like find that eureka moment, you know, that's where blank space and that whole like meditation thing is coming in, and like finding that stillness and that place in the quantum field before anything has been uh, measured, and the waveform collapses and it becomes material then. So yeah, just go ahead, walk away, and the new direction will be really cool. And just make sure you're taking advice from trusted people. Okay. All right. It looks like I've got everybody here. Oh, Linda Martin. All right. All right, Linda, here we go. All right, get really focused. Words of wisdom for my good friend Linda. Words of wisdom for my good friend Linda. Words of wisdom for my good friend. Wow. Okay. All right. So the first card is the Wheel of Fortune. If you've been down, look forward to going up. The next card is the Ace of Cups, and this card represents your connection to the divine. So, like your spiritual growth, your spiritual process, you're learning to expand your intuition, your clairvoyance, and that has a huge heavenly blessing. This is also the place where you realize that you've been really closed off to accepting love, and that part of you is now ready to receive that, whatever that means. And maybe new people, maybe a new love for yourself, but you're kind of coming out of a closed chrysalis state. And this card represents that moment where you realize, I could be open for that. And like in the flow of the deck, the next card is the Two of Cups, which now that like the stage has been set and the ground is fertile. So it's like you're walking down the street, you go into a bar, you sit down and you look up across the bar and you lock eyes with someone and there's just that instant, wow, there's like electricity like going back and forth. So it's that moment where you realize there's a spark of interest in something or there's someone, and you really, really, really want to explore that further. And it's an enjoyable moment, man, where you're that like in love is like a drug, it's like fresh and new and like, wow, this is really amazing. And I hate this card. It's the Three of Swords, and the Three of Swords represents heartbreak. So like something you were really counting on, probably not going to happen right this second. And it can be really devastating. It can be really difficult to deal with, but it's also part of that process of making yourself available again and opening up to new possibilities and releasing heartache and heartbreak and all of the shutdown that goes with that. All right. So just keep opening up your mindset to the bigger picture and your spiritual journey, and just keep going down, getting down to blank space as often as you can, and just know that heartache is going to be leaving, and there's a whole change of fortune about that, and there'll be some new, love yourself first of all, Libby. You're really an amazing person. You're like a piece of the light, and just shower yourself with that love and respect, and that frequency will spread all around you. You already do a pretty good job of that, but like Always do better. All right. I think, oh, wow. One more. All right. This is the last one. This is for Let's Bright. And I don't know you, Let's. So take 3 really deep breaths. Close your eyes. Imagine that you and I are standing right in front of each other, and I'm looking in your eyes. And let's just connect, and let me reach in. All right, words of wisdom for my new friend, Let's Bright. Words of wisdom for my new friend, Let's Bright. Words of wisdom for my new friend, Let's Bright. Okay. So the first card is the Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups represents really deep emotional satisfaction, stability, and your relationships and your emotional connection to the world. The next card is the Eight of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles represents apprenticeship. So this card is like, whereas in the Three of Pentacles, you're at the peak of your mastery and you're getting top dollar for that. This represents that you're selecting a new path and that you've selected a whole new way to go with it, and that you've got a mentor and they've kind of taken you under their wing and are teaching you how not only to acquire the new skill, but also open doors for you and help you get further along in whatever you've chosen to do. You're not going to get paid a lot during this time, but like internships, apprenticeships, in doctor interns, nobody's getting paid top dollar until they're certified master. Okay. So this is really an enjoyable thing you're doing, by the way, and you'll get a lot of really great satisfaction out of that. All right. However, you have the opportunity to fuck it up really good. This is the Nine of Swords, and this is a hell of a card because this card represents your own ability to think about how things can be destroyed. Like in the Rider-Waite deck, there's a guy laying down on a table, and suspended over him on really tiny little thin threads are 9 swords that are hanging over his body. And it's clear that those strings are about to break and those swords are going to fall. So the guy like lays there waiting for the swords to fall, just going through scenario after scenario in his head about how it's going to hurt and it's going to suck and it's what if it happens like that and what if that. So it's like this endless loop of creating your own destruction. Like nobody's the better master of creating my own pain than me in my mind. So the key to this card is to enjoy that emotional richness and enjoy your new journey into what you're learning and growing into, and don't let your own mind sabotage the goodness that's around for you. And if you find yourself circle thinking, catch yourself, and like your mind is a creator in your own universe. And every thought that you have, every focused intent, you're creating your own reality. So if you catch yourself in that zone of like thinking about how it could screw up or how it could be bad, like flip the switch and start thinking about the way you want it to be, not the way you hate, right? So just create over and over and over that image of the way you want it and the way it's good and not the way it sucks. Okay? All righty. Oh, it's a long one tonight, man. Come to the end of our sojourn for another evening. As always, super grateful for all of you guys coming and sharing space. And hope to see you again next week. I have my friend Jan Parvanian on. He's just, he's like the quintessential example of live your art. And I love his stuff very much. And he's the one that kind of inspired me. A piece that he did sort of inspired me to start light painting. So I'm going to look really forward to sharing our journey into the spirit of art next week. And I think you'll enjoy him and his work very much. So as always, if you dug the readings, put a little comment down in the comment section. Please hit the like and subscribe thing and help me get stuff cranking out and out to more people. All right. So yeah, I think that's it. So without further ado, we gratefully close our gathering for this evening and send everyone happily on their way. We thank the angels for their knowledge and wisdom and love of the source. And with gratitude for it all, every single bit, infinite, unconditional love, and our wish for bliss to the source. Until next week, we close our circle.